In episode 29, we introduced our latest ebook, The Game of the Decade, 7 Plays for Winning the Most Important 10 Years to Retirement Success, and we took some time to do a quick run-through of our 7 plays. In episode 30, we started our deeper dive into each of these plays for your retirement success. We will continue with this as we work our way through all 7, which takes us today to play number 2, determining how much you need in retirement. Want to get our ebook now? Head on over to www.makeitpersonalpodcast.com where you can download it as well as our first ebook. While you're there, you can even schedule a no-obligation conversation with one of our advisors so that they can help you to develop a personalized plan. Who am I? My name is Mark Zagurski, and I'm the Director of Strategy and Communications for Mutual of Omaha Advisors, a division of Mutual of Omaha. I represent the voice of approximately 1,000 advisors nationwide. At Mutual of Omaha Advisors, we recognize that planning for retirement is deeply personal, and achieving financial well-being is essential to fulfilling one's life vision. Our dedicated team supports clients in protecting what matters most and building a secure retirement strategy, which again brings us back to play number 2, determining how much you need in retirement. When determining how much you'll need, consider the income you'll need to replace once you're no longer working full-time. In retirement, every day is essentially a Saturday. You can sleep in, take leisurely walks, and focus on hobbies instead of working your regular 9 to 5. However, don't think of retirement as a simple accumulation goal for only paying your bills or expenses. Think of what you're going to need to enjoy each and every day of your life. How much you'll need to retire depends partly on your understanding of the different phases of retirement. Financial author Tom Hegna describes 3 phases of retirement as the go-go, slow-go, and no-go years. While it's essential to have a plan for accumulating money beforehand, it's equally important to have a strategy for efficiently spending those assets throughout retirement. One rule of thumb suggests planning to replace 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income, though the exact amount depends on your spending habits and lifestyle. For example, if you earn $100,000 annually, you'd aim to generate around $75,000 per year in retirement income. Using a 4% withdrawal rate as an example, that may not apply to everyone, translates to needing about $1.875 million in capital. What percentage of pre-retirement income do most retirees spend? A study from Morningstar finds that the replacement rate is likely to vary considerably from retiree household to retiree household, from under 54% to over 87%. We note that retiree expenditures do not, on average, increase yearly by inflation or some otherwise static percentage. The actual spending curve of a retiree household varies by total consumption and funding level. We apply the findings of the Morningstar study to 2 couples ready for retirement to illustrate the broad range of potential retirement income needs. The first couple is quit contributing funding to retirement plans and no longer have to pay payroll taxes because they're retired. In addition, they paid off their home just prior to retirement, and their children have graduated from school and are financially independent. Their overall expenses drop significantly towards the lower end of the range in the Morningstar study. It's a different story for the second couple. They also quit funding their retirement plans and no longer have to pay payroll taxes upon retirement. However, they still have a mortgage payment, and they still have children who are somewhat financially dependent on them. So their lifestyle expenditures are fairly consistent with their pre-retirement levels. Their overall expenses drop modestly towards a higher range in the Morningstar study. While the pre-retirement household income was the same for these couples, the post-retirement income needs, and therefore the planning needs, are substantially different. Most retirees rely on 3 primary sources of income to fund their golden years: Social Security, retirement accounts, and personal savings. Together, these sources form the foundation of your retirement income. But how they interact with your lifestyle and expenses requires careful consideration. A common assumption is that spending decreases in retirement. For many, this is true to some extent. The U.S. Bureau of Labor found that on average, people ages 65 and older spend $52,141 in 2021, about $14,000 less than the general population. Contribution to retirement accounts and certain payroll taxes disappear after you stop working. Additional childcare or education costs often vanish as children become independent. Housing costs like a mortgage may also drop off, particularly if you've already paid off your home. These areas of saving can create a sense of relief and perception that your expenses will decline dramatically. However, that isn't always the whole picture. While some expenses may decrease, others may rise. For example, healthcare costs often increase as you age, even with Medicare coverage, especially if you require long-term care or more frequent medical treatment. Travel and leisure expenses may also spike, particularly in the early retirement years when retirees are eager to check items off their bucket list. Even at modest rates, inflation can erode purchasing power over time, leading to higher costs for everyday necessities. That is why planning is critical. Determining your actual expenses rather than relying on a general rule of thumb is critical in creating a plan that is customized to your specific situation. Conventional wisdom is so conventional. The annual consumer expenditure study from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics from 2022 shows that expenditures on average begin to fall once someone reaches age 55. The study indicates that expenses on average go up slightly once somebody reaches age 65 and then fall again once they reach age 75. This finding challenges some of the conventional advice that costs continue to increase in retirement. Some expenses increase and others decrease. This is sometimes referred to as a retirement smile, as introduced by David Blanchett of Morningstar Investment Management in his 2014 article, Exploring the Retirement Consumption Puzzle. In his research, Blanchett observes a retirement smile that varies slightly for retirees with different household spending levels, but the general form is reasonably consistent. Retirees tend to spend more in early retirement, followed by a dip in their spending as they age, and then their spending picks back up again to deal with increased medical expenses towards the end of their life. Assets may be the name of the game in the retirement accumulation phase, but make no mistake, that becomes income when it comes to your retirement distribution phase. Does a cheat code exist for how much money you'll need in retirement? Not exactly, but there are some specific rules of thumb, as those we discussed, that can offer you a starting point. Considering all this, let's be real. Retirement planning is complicated, but solvable with the help of a financial advisor. Sure, you can pick up some pointers here or there, and even be entertained by vloggers and so-called financial celebrities online. But any advice you find from these sources will be generic, or it may not even apply to your situation at all. That's why you need to use the last 5 years before retirement to determine just how much you'll need to continue living the life you want to live once the paychecks stop rolling in. The thing about personal finance is, well, it's personal. And if you want your plan to be personal, it has to be tailored to you. It's never too late to create a plan to give you the financial security and freedom that you deserve. Regardless of where you're at in the journey, it's important to remember this: when it comes to retirement, it doesn't matter where you started. All that matters is where you finish. Take control of your future and schedule a no-obligation consultation with one of our advisors today. Go to www.makeitpersonalpodcast.com to learn more or to get connected with one of our advisors. While there, you can also download either of our ebooks and subscribe to our monthly newsletter. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. How concerned are you about outliving your money? What is your plan for turning retirement savings into retirement income? If you're watching or listening on a platform where you can comment, please do so, as we're curious for your thoughts. At Mutual of Omaha Advisors, we understand personal finance is personal, and financial well-being is essential to achieving your life's goals. Our vision is for every customer to be able to imagine, plan, and secure their financial futures. Make it personal. It's your money, it's your plan, it's your future.
This podcast is for educational purposes only and may include references to concepts that have legal and/or tax implications. Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc. does not provide tax or legal advice. Please consult with the appropriate professional regarding your personal situation prior to making any financial decisions. Strategies discussed may not be suitable for everyone. Securities and advisory services offered through Mutual of Omaha Investor Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Mutual of Omaha Advisors is a division of Mutual of Omaha Insurance Company.